Hey yo, what's poppin' with you though? It's your boy Carol, and we are back for I guess a discussion video of sorts, because there's been a lot of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon information that came out the last couple of days, and I never got the chance to really go over it, but I want to just kind of make a discussion topic about it. So if you guys have anything to add to this video, just put it into the comment section below, because I'll be happy to read your comments and even probably talk about them in the next video if this comes up again. But like, for example, the first topic of information that we have is that it is confirmed that multiple legendary Pokemon are going to be able to be found through Ultra Space, essentially. So we already knew that you're going to be able to essentially ride on the Lunala or Solgaleo to go to Ultra Space and find like stuff like the Ultra Beast world and stuff like that. But it's also been confirmed that if you do this, you could also go to worlds with legendary Pokemon in them, such as Mewtwo. Well, that's the one they specifically says Mewtwo. So it's like, so that's also a very weird one to specifically point out, because again, like, Mewtwo is a created legendary Pokemon, so there's only so many Mewtwo's in the world. And in canonicity, there's the one in Cerulean Cave, there's the one in the Unknown Dungeon of XY, and I guess there's the ones in the anime and the events and all that stuff, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you go to essentially a separate dimension where Mewtwo is just laying around, or... That's kind of weird. Like, I think it's a cool idea. I also think it's kind of a cop-out, depending on how they do it, because they kind of pulled this exact same thing with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire with the Hoopa rings that were going to kind of scatter around the world, even though Hoopa was an event Pokemon. And I found that pretty lazy, because it was just, hey, this gigantic ring, you talk to it, and suddenly it pops out Terrakion. Are you ready? Like, there was no overworld sprite for it. There's no build-up. It was just there. And I hope they don't do that with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I hope, like, if you go to the Ultra Space of that Pokemon, like, it's like, I guess, like, detailed for that Pokemon, or there's a model for that Pokemon at the very least, like something savable and interactable. I don't know. I find that a lot better than, like, these, like, the Hoopa rings, and then the Necrozma and the grass, 10 Carat Hill, and then you have the Tabu Koko and all that stuff, who are just statues you talk to. So, like, I hope they do a little bit more for that kind of thing. But it's also kind of a cool thing, because if they do it right, then it's like Pokemon like Dialga and Palkia, who we know live in separate worlds, but that's all we got to know about them through the Pokedex. And like, the only thing we know about Dialga and Palkia's world is what we got to see in the Rise of Darkrai movie, which was like a black void with like pink and blue in the background. So it's like, it'd be really cool if we can actually go inside that world and see what it actually looks like, and not just the Rise of Darkrai movie, because that'd be pretty interesting myself. I think so anyway. But that's beside the point. In other words, it's just the game saying, hey, we're gonna make all legendary Pokemon available in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon again, which is definitely cool. I find that weird that they're doing saying specifically Mewtwo is their very first one, because that's a little bit of a weird one, but it's whatever. The second thing I want to talk about is that Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are confirmed, 100% confirmed, to be the last mainline Pokemon games on the 3DS, or I guess the DS consoles. So, because the next mainline Pokemon games are going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch in 2018 or later. So it's like, this is big. This is pretty dang big. That means the 3DS, they're setting up the 3DS to fall out now. Because like, the 3DS is still popular, still selling a lot, but they're setting it up so that the 3DS can essentially take its retirement funds and go to a retirement home and let the new kid on the block on the Nintendo Switch come up, because the 3DS sells, right? But the 3DS honestly sells mostly because of Pokemon games. That's not like opinion, that's just fact. Like, Pokemon games sell like hotcakes. Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon are still selling thousands of copies every single week. Like, it's insane how much these games are still selling. So it's like, these Pokemon games are what's selling on the 3DS. It's what's making the 3DS so popular. The Pokemon games. So the fact that these are the last mainline Pokemon games, that's insane. That means by late 2018 or even 2019, the 3DS is RIP, 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 RIP. Like, it is gone. So that's something to think about. They also said that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is going to be the culmination of all their efforts on the 3DS console. So they're taking all their intelligence from XY, all their planning from Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, all their stuff from Pokemon Sun and Moon, and putting it into one big blowout of a game. It's going to be like their end-all, be-all for the 3DS. They're making it as best they can. They also said, and this is a very, very big one, I can't express it enough, They said Pokemon Ultra Sun and Pokemon Ultra Moon are going to have a story twice the size. Repeat with me. Twice the size of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. That is insane, because they said with post-game, so that means like we're actually gonna have a fairly decent post-game in this game. They specifically said this game's story is going to be more in-depth than Pokemon Emeralds or Pokemon Platinums, which might not sound like much if you're saying specifically Emeralds, but if we were talking about Platinum, Platinum is one of the most beloved Pokemon games of all time, because the main story is great, and then you still have like another 10, maybe even 15, 20 hours on how fast or slow you go of post-game content if you're not including Battle Frontier. If you're counting Battle Frontier, you've got like another 100 hours in you. But if you're not counting Battle Frontier, like even after you beat the game, which is like 20 hours or so, you still have another 10 or 15 before you complete everything. So that means they're setting up Pokemon Sun, or Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon to probably have around 30 hours, 40, maybe even 50 hours of story content. And that's one of the big complaints of Pokemon Sun and Moon. A lot of people were saying Pokemon Sun and Moon had no post-game other than the battle tree, so it got very, very stale very, very fast. There's nothing to do. So the fact that they're essentially saying this is going to be Pokemon Sun and Moon, which people will love the story for, but improved story, plus more post-game content, they're setting Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon up to be very, very, very good Pokemon games. They're not saying it's going to be the best one by far. I don't think Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are going to be the best. I think Heart Gold and Soul Silver are still always going to take the cake for being the best Pokemon games. But they're essentially saying that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon will 100% guaranteed be the best 3DS Pokemon games. It's going to be better than XY, it's going to be better than ORAS, and it's going to be better than the original Sun and Pokemon Moon. It's going to be the best, the top tier, the top of the cake of Pokemon mainline games on the 3DS, and they're also kind of showing that in the price of the game, because if you look at Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon's price, it's actually $10 more than normal. Because Pokemon Sun and I'm Canadian, so take this into account, but Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon launched at $49.99 each. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are launching at $59.99 each. So they're $10 more expensive. That's significantly more for the people who get both games with me. So it's like $100 more than like plus like $100+ for both of these games. Like it's pretty crazy. So we have stuff to look forward to. There's a lot of stuff. Post-game content is going to be there. The last 3DS mainline games. Legendary Pokemon are going to be in the game. Mewtwo confirmed. So that's another thing. What's it called? The Z-Move text animations are apparently getting an overhaul, so they look a little bit more pop out and crazy. So that's gonna be cool. So this way the Z-Moves don't look stale after seeing them for like 2 years or so. So I'm appreciative of that, even if it's just a small detail. And there's also the fact that Pokemon will follow certain trainers around and you can interact with them. So that gives you a hope that maybe Pokemon can follow you around as well. Because we did find all that data in the games Pokemon Sun and Moon that Pokemon can have all walking animations again, so fingers crossed for Pokemon following you again. Either way, like, comment, subscribe, Kero Studio, and I'll see you guys for the next video, and please join my Discord, let's get it popping in there. I'm out.